Interesting substitution that. Is that because of injury, Laksisi? We'll talk about that later, but here's the star for St. Thomas's this season. Here's Bulat Singalage taking the gap. Finds some support now. Going on the blind side. Here's Liana Gunawardena, who started it. Gets dragged towards the touchline, but does well to stay in the field of play. St. Thomas's for the first time with ball in hand. Bulat Singalage, the elder, goes in at scrum half. Needs to make himself available as a ball carrying option now. Vikramasuriya. Here's Udan. Ball still available and dragging the defense across the field was Liana Gunawardena again. Here's Karunaratne. Has a bit of a time to wind up, but Vikramarachchi with a nice chop tackle on him. Vikramasuriya. Here's Akash Fernando. Looking to make ground. Dehan Senaratne. Dummies. Pumps off the tackle of Sandeepa. Here's Vikramasuriya. Here's Akash Fernando again. Not winning the collision that time, but doing enough to make the ball available. Here's Udan. Again to Ahaliagoda, but really well met in the tackle by Kenula Mihisara. Outstanding work in defense by Mihisara there. Managed to rip the ball and dislodge it. They will now look for the clearance kick. So a good passage of play from St. Thomas's, undone by some great defense by the second row forward. Now they'll go all the way back to the pocket, and Zumri will thump this one way upfield and find the safety of the touchline.
Shahid Zumri taking his team almost towards that halfway mark, but Kenula Mihisara 100 out of 100 for that defensive effort. St. Thomas's, just when they managed to reach that 22-meter mark, Isipathana turning back in position and getting the ball back.
What St. Thomas's haven't done as well as they should, Laksisi, over the course of this season is get the right people into the right positions. And if I were coaching the St. Thomas's college team, I would want Lenagala and Karunaratne carrying the ball a little bit more often, even Sithil Pereira. But again, another crooked throw. Jasinger comes away with it, but to no avail. And it's the second time they've made the same mistake. So I really want those two boys carrying the ball and not all the other forwards trying to carry the ball. I want some of them to be ball carriers, others to be ruck hitters. And that would give them a little bit more options, a little bit more winning collisions.
It's all about royal clarity, isn't it, Chanaka? St. Thomas's, meanwhile, the second time, the crooked throw in the line out, the third line out that didn't go their way in this encounter so far, inside the first 20 minutes of this second semi-final.
Well, there's a bit of confusion going on because I think the referee wants Seneshka Liana Gunawardena to go off, and I don't know if I can say this without being funny, but to get his head checked literally. They've seen a bit of a head knock that he's taken, so somebody spotted it, maybe from the touchlines, maybe the doctor on the bench, but they want to take him off and make sure that they go through the protocols. Recognize and remove is the call here, so there's no HIA. The referee is in charge. That's exactly what Weiranga has done. But for St. Thomas's point of view, they desperately want the centre to come back on. It's a nice scrum for Isipathana. Zumri again with that right foot, but it's fallen straight into the hands of Mikhail Karunaratne. Ball is available and Vikramasuriya goes for that box kick. And it's dropped by Abdullah Faiza and beats everyone to the touchline. So a little bit of confusion. Play not coming off the way they wanted it for Isipathana, and St. Thomas's capitalizing and just trying to get a little bit of momentum. Now that they've had the ball, they've felt the body into the contact. Luxis, they're looking like a better side. They started off in that first 10 minutes very nervously.
St. Thomas's College getting the act right in this second semi-final, and it's going to be a scrum in their favour. Look out for Karunaratne. Karunaratne scored 2 tries against Isipathana in that league encounter, if I'm not wrong. Vikramasuriya to feed the ball in for the Thomians.
So this is where Vikramasuriya suffered in the league game as well. Khalid Shenal always in his ear. And he doesn't seem to be able to shrug off a little bit of sledging that Shenal keeps doing. You do well not to get involved in that because Khalid Shenal is obviously very good at it. But Vikramasuriya suffers a little bit. Just watch him, just being a nuisance. And here's Mikhail Karnaratne, picks up and goes. Goes a little bit too laterally and allows the Isipathana defense to regroup. Here's Akash Fernando carrying. St. Thomas is picking and going, but they're stationary on that 22-meter line. And Udan Bulat Sinhala dropping the ball cold, looked up a little too early into the face of the Isipathana defense and dropped the ball when they had a little bit of momentum. So again, that move broke down because Karunaratne needs to run a little bit straighter off that number 8 break. Laksisi, all he needs to do is commit the flanker and make sure the ball is available, because by the time he's run across, the entire forward pack has time to break and time to form a defensive line.
Now for the second time, St. Thomas's College, after coming close to the 22-meter line, just unable to keep doing what they have done. The continuity of play they have not been able to do. That's St. Thomas's College. Now Isipathana, an opportunity to get out of their own 22.
You've got to feel for Udan Bulat Singalage as well. After the first game, this is probably only the third game he's playing this season that he's coming into that first line of defense, or first line of attack rather, as the first receiver. So always difficult to come into a high-pressure semi-final game like this against a team like Isipathana, who really know how to get in your face. Zumri, Vikramarachi, taken well in midfield by Haliagoda and Bulat Singalage. Playing a little bit of football was Ihan Bulat Singalage, but now they've conceded the penalty because Vanigasuriya played the ball well in front of his skipper. Just a little bit of game awareness there from Vanigasuriya, who needed to get out of the way. And Zumri losing no time in getting back into the Thomian half and trying to settle things down.
Oh, here's the replay. Khalid Shenal going for that little kick. Ihan Bulat Singalage playing a bit of football there, Shanaka mentioned. But I think that was the number 19 who played the ball well in front of Ihan Bulat Singalage. Cardinal error, and they need to make sure that they minimize these mistakes, Shanaka, in a crucial encounter like this.
Yes, and you have to feel for Yahan because he was looking straight into the sun as the sun sets onto the left side, so behind the Isipathana team. So exploiting the conditions, putting that kick up and forcing the error from Bulat Singalage that in turn gave them the penalty that now Nisada Jayavira is fighting his way towards the line with. Zumri again. That's a little back of the hand offload that we haven't seen too many of. Are we back to an era of no comms, Laksisi? I think it's a deliberate knock-on that's been called, and Mayank Kandas looks like he's the man who's been shown the yellow card. It'll be good to see that one again. Das seems a little bemused. Here's the pass, and yes, it was, looks like it was in the tackle. Not sure it was a deliberate attempt to tap the ball down, whether it was just a penalty, but there was a try-scoring opportunity, wasn't there, Laksisi? If the ball did go to the man on the outside, he might have run in, so the referee is ruling that it was a try-scoring opportunity that Dias prevented.
Now Isipathana with another attacking line out. Kenula Misara puts the ball in Abdul Ahmed, but the line out doesn't go as they planned. Isipathana, Abdul Ahmed drops the ball forward, so it's going to be a scrum in favour of meters away from their own try line.
Not as clinical as forwards coach Danushka Boteju would have liked. See that Abdul Ahmed just dropping that ball into Vikramasuriya's hands, and there's no advantage coming from the knock-on, so they will have the scrum. St. Thomas is deep on their own line. one man short in the backs as well. Not sure if Leena Gunawardena has made a comeback. Doesn't look like he has. In fact, he has, with his head strapped up. Vikram Surya to his captain. Some angles touch finder, which Aruna Santa says is well inside the 22. So again, a little bit of a lack of awareness that Pulak Singalake could probably have moved a little bit further away towards the touchline so he can get that ball away and stand in the pocket, not allowing the defenders a direct access to block his kick.
Isipathana still inside the St. Thomas's College 22-meter territory. They're still with an opportunity. St. Thomas's still inside that danger zone. They need to get this line out right. Isipathana was unable to do so in the last one. Still 7 points to nil. We are nearing the 20th minute mark of the second semi-final. The Dialogue Schools Rugby Knockouts 2024. The winners of this encounter will face St. Peter's next week.
If yesterday's semi-final was anything to go by, Laksisi were in for a treat today as well. Wesley really coming back into that game after they realized that they had nothing to lose, and it was going to be their last match of the season if they went out 20 points to 8. And they really did upset St. Peter's, and if they're without both those first choice centres, Amit Javira and Yumit Jahara, then you have to think whoever wins this might have a good crack at that knockout championship. Abdul Ahmed this time gets it right, and Sethum Rajapaksa comes back. They do the same they did on the opposite side, but Kenula Mihisara keeps it infield nicely. But Aruna Santa's flag stayed down, but like that was a forward pass.
Kenula Mihisara tried to put the ball back in before he went into, he was tackled into touch, but the ball went forward, unfortunately. Here's the replay. So St. Thomas's, once again, it's going to be a scrum inside their own 22. They have been stuck inside their own 22 for the last 5 minutes or so. Shanaka need to make sure that they get out of here and try to mount an attack.
Here it is from Vikram Surya. Oh, that's a no arms tackle, is it, from Kalindu Shanal? Yes, it is. No attempt to wrap. And the referee Veranga very quick and very decisive in both those incidents, Laksisi. Could have been very dangerous, so Kalindu Shanal won't have too many complaints. Let's have a look again. Yes, I think that call was absolutely spot on. He does take his arms out, but when you drop your shoulders below your hips, that's always a telltale sign for referees.
No second thoughts there from the referee. Straight yellow to Kalindu Shanal, the Isipathana scrum half. So Isipathana and St. Thomas's, both the teams playing with 14 men. St. Thomas's, of course, they'll be restored back to 15 in a few minutes. Isipathana, till the last 3-4 minutes of the first half, they'll have to play with 14. It's the line-out for St. Thomas's.
That's better from Vanika Surya in the middle of the line-out. And they have the penalty coming as well. Pulak Sinhala with the little chip through, and that's beautifully collected by Leena Gunawardena. But is there a moment of madness that might have changed this around? Let's have a look here. It's Dehan Senaratna that dives onto the back of Thinethra Dodangura. Not sure what that was about. He didn't throw a punch as far as I can see. But really not sure why he did that. But they're lucky they've got the penalty. But they did seem to have the advantage. And it's silly because Leena Gunawardena looked like he was absolutely in the clear when he collected that.
Yeah, exactly, Shani, because it was not the Isipathana player who collected the ball. St. Thomas still had possession. So I think probably the referee actually didn't notice that because he was actually more focused on what the AR had to say.
Yes, the AR calling play back definitely there. But the AR also probably needs to allow play to go on and then call it back for foul play if it's necessary or when it's necessary. Vanagasuriya winning this one in the line out, and St. Thomas is setting up the driving maul. It's dragged to the ground, but legally so that time. And here's Ahaliagoda. This time they wrap their arms around him and over goes Abdul Ahmed. Senaratne cutting back in field, and that's better from them. They've got numbers now. Offside at the line out is the call. And the Thomians are probably not going to win this match by kicking penalties, but they want to have on the scoreboard. Thought with one man down, perhaps they would think of a scrum, because without the scrum half, then it gives Makar Karunaratne maybe one less player to beat, and the scrum half doesn't have his man, so he can run off his shoulder. So there's little things that will come with experience, of course.
Gulat Singalage. He has had a lot of points for St. Thomas's throughout the last 3 years, from 2022, 2023 to this year. He'll want to add these 3.
Well, that's interesting there, Alexis. He saw Dehan Senaratne, or was it Lenagala that time, who walked up to the referee and just opened his collar and showed something. Can only assume it's a bite mark. And maybe that's why he took leave of his senses as he jumped on the top of Dinetra Dorangoda's head. And the kick is accurate from Ihan Bulat Singalage, and it's 7 points to 3. You can see referee Veranga having a chat with Nisaja Jayavira and saying, look boys, it's just a few moments for half time, wait for your snack there.
So St. Thomas's College, they opened their account in the second semi-final, 7 points to 3. Ihan Bulat Singalage, the skipper, adding the all-important 3 points. Good accurate kick from Bulat Singalage. Now Isipathana with the restart kick.
It's long, and Bulat Singalage will try to exit cleanly, which he does. But I thought that St. Thomas has just missed a trick there. Laksisia would have gone for the kill, especially with an influential player like Kalindu Shenal out of the action. Gives a lot of options from the back of the scrum when your scrum half is off. Because if they want to defend that scrum half position, then they need to bring one of the backs in, which leaves more room outside. So I think they might have sacrificed a good opportunity cost there.
Exactly, Shanak, and he's one of the core players from Isipathana, and that will definitely disrupt their whole mindset, playing without Kalindu Shenal in an attacking move by St. Thomas's.
Dorangoda wins it nicely off the line out. Vikramarachi goes all the way back, and this is Jayavira thumping his way forward. Dehan Senaratne seems to be galvanized by that little incident, and they've managed to rip the ball free. And here's Chamod Fernando with a really good follow through, and that time as the player put the ball down, Abdullah Faiza put the ball down and knocked it on his way back up. So good skills from the fullback, but just the accuracy at the dying moments. A good chase from St. Thomas's.
Now St. Thomas's, after adding the first 3 points of the game, with another good opportunity at the 22-meter mark of Isipathana College half. A try here will give them the lead, and they can certainly think about that with the absence of Kalindu Shenal. Yes, the replay. Abdullah Faiza thought he did okay, but while trying to make the collection again, he knocked the ball forward, Faiza.
Really good chase that time from Chamod Fernando coming through. It's an important scrum and an important moment of the game. There's Aditya Madhushan, who's come into the scrum half position, and there's 2 players over on the blind side, and Makar Karunaratne probably should have thought about going the opposite way. Here's Akash Fernando now, driving his legs. This is better from the experienced second rower. And as I say that, he concedes a penalty.
Isipathana College doing really well there. inside their own 22. That have been really, really dangerous for them if St. Thomas's manage to continue in that same manner. Abdullah Faiza with the territory gain for Isipathana. And St. Thomas's College restored back to 15 men, Shanaka. So now they have the numbers advantage for at least 5 or 6 minutes.
Yes, they've got to make that time before half-time count, don't they, to try and get as close to the score as possible. But again, what I was talking about earlier, that not the right players with the ball in hand so close to the line. Laksisi, I think Lenagala and Pereira need to carry the ball a lot more for St. Thomas's. Beautiful take by Durangoda, taking after his brother in the front of that Isipathana line out. Here it is now available for Shahid Zumri, who opts for the territorial gain with a man down. And might have just overcooked that one a little bit, so there'll be another scrum all the way back to where he kicked it. St. Thomas's will they be third time lucky?
Shahid Sumri trying to find touch inside the St. Thomas's College 22-minute territory, but overcooked it big time. St. Thomas's. Another chance inside Isipathana College territory.
So we've got the man over now with Dias back in the fold. They've got to ask him to hug the touchline. Just try and get the ball out as quick as possible. Aditya Madhushan will come back into that number 9 position, which means that the blind side is completely open for Mikhail Karunaratne. All he has to do is make sure he beats the flanker. So let's see what they can do at this end. And this time he's not going to go off the back. Well, it's like an anti-tactical masterclass here. Leela Gunawardena takes it up, and Gulat Singhal again now gives it to Karunaratne, who makes a run. He should have probably made a few seconds earlier. Vikramasuriya off the back, and Ahaliagoda, lovely little step from the center. Takes it deep into the 22. Now they've got to make sure that they don't give the Isipathana defensive line time to form. That's a better carry from Akash Fernando. Cutting back in field, but met with a thunderous tackle from Vikramarachari is Vanigasuriya. St. Thomas's with their tails up. Here's Lenagala getting a bit of the action alongside Sithila Pereira. It's better from Akash Fernando clearing, making the ball available as the Thomian contingent in the crowd find their voice finally after almost half an hour's wait. This is disciplined stuff from both teams. Isipathana very careful not to give away the penalty and making sure they wait until the Thomians make a mistake. How long can they afford to wait is the question. Still going away from the goal post. Might want to think about changing direction now. That's exactly what they do. Dehan Senaratne with the good carry. Here's Karunaratne once again trying to add to his brace of tries in the league game. Really nice technique from the young number 8. Good ball presentation as well. Here's Leela Gunawardena, who has found his way in among the forwards. And it's not often that forwards allow a back to come in and steal their thunder, but Leela Gunawardena has proved his mettle. Veranga goes across. Have they got over? Not yet. Here he is. Leela Gunawardena again. Makes it available. Can tell from the players' body language if they think they'll have gone over. And yes, they have now. St. Thomas's hitting back with Kalidu Shanal in the bin. Omalka Gunaratne is on the pitch, and he'll make sure to go over and make sure that they restart well and exit well. And it's Mikhail Karunaratne once again. We've been talking about him, Laksisi. We mentioned him earlier on as well. And this young number 8 has shown a lot of potential in the way that he has played his fresher season.
St. Thomas's College, great piece of work to score that first Samana Bank try. I think that was 30 plus phases, Shanaka, and they managed to keep the continuity going. They kept the flow going and made sure they didn't do any mistakes and finished the job off Magal Karunaratne. Great piece of work and as well. So 10 points to 7, a 3-point buffer for St. Thomas's College. The second semi-final of the Dallas Schools Rugby Knockouts 2024.
And suddenly, after being under the pump for about 20 minutes, St. Thomas's find themselves in the lead. And it's so important for them that they consolidate this restart, because Isipathana will be desperate to get at least a penalty on board before half-time to go in at 10 points all, which will be coincidentally the same score that it was in the league game, and St. Thomas's will do their best to keep the green machine from entering their 22. Still with Kalind Shenal in the bin, and Isipathana look a different side without him. Abdullah Faiza this time goes nice and long and straight into the hands of Bulak Singalage, who tries to make the ball one of the many lost balls on the top of this Royal College Sports Complex. It's a periodic sweep of the roof to recover the balls, but comes back off a Suma Navaratnam stand board. Legendary Suma Navaratnam, the doyens of Royal Rugby as well as St. Thomas's, as well as Sri Lanka, I should say. Athletics as well, the fastest men in South Asia in his prime. Here's Dodangoda. Nice jump at the front from the younger Dodangoda brother. His elder brother playing club rugby season. And it looks like Abdul Ahmed is in a little bit of strife. Looked like he might have popped a shoulder there. I hope he's okay. That time it's Chamod Pereira who does well to field that up and under. So Isipathana very intent on getting into the right part of the pitch. And Vikramasuriya in the wall of defense. Oh, that's just not fielded by Vanigasuriya. It's popping around everywhere like it's a volleyball game. That was untidy stuff, but in the end, the ball goes into touch. But let's have a look at what happened to Abdul Ahmed there. So it was before this. This was Vanigasuriya, or was it Bulat Singalage who chased that one? So it was Yehan. No, it was Vanigasuriya, just couldn't get his hands on it. But that is half-time, and St. Thomas's end the half on a high, 10 points to 7, just one score. And this is an Isipathana team, so I will not think that that game is safe by any stretch of the imagination. But St. Thomas's have found themselves surprise leaders at half-time.
St. Thomas's College going into the half-time with a 3-point lead, and talking about close encounters and talking about watching a close encounter like this is your ideal companion. Melbourne Savoury Biscuits collection. Make sure that you have a savoury biscuit from the Melbourne collection to enjoy the rest of the second half of the second semi-final in the Dallas Schools Rugby Knockouts 2024. Here's the halftime score confirmation. St. Thomas's College with a 3-point advantage, 10 points to 7, and we have everything to play for. Will Isipathana College book another date with St. Peter's, or will St. Thomas's College register their place in the final after 15 years? We'll be able to find out in the second half. Stay tuned to Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel, the Papare TV.
Maliban lemon puff puff, lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff. Hamasitakma kibide, rasa lemon rasa ye. Jeevithayama mihirai, Maliban lemon puff puff, lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff, Maliban lemon puff, chilvenna lemon.
නිකම් බොරුවට රිස්ක් එකක් ගන්නේ ඇයි? NDB නියොස් තියෙද්දි රිස්ක් එකක් නැතුව කික් එකේ ෆන් ට්‍රාන්ස්ෆර්ස් කරන්න වගේම චිල් එකේ බිල්ස් පේ කරන්න.
Scrum down at the Dubai Rugby Sevens. Feel the adrenaline rush with thrilling Sevens games, indulge in top-notch rugby entertainment and tackle a variety of sporting activities. Fly to Dubai on an exclusive Emirates Holidays package inclusive of a 3-day pass starting at 275,000 rupees only from Aiken Spence Travels. Call Aiken Spence Travels now.
Coloma, beautiful outside and inside.
SCB නියොස් තියෙද්දී රිස්ක් එකක් නැතුව කික් එකේ ෆන් ට්‍රාන්ස්ෆර්ස් කරන්න වගේම chill එකේ bills pay කරන්න.
Welcome back to the Royal Complex, folks, as we are just few moments away from the second half of this second semi-final in the Dialogue Schools Rugby Knockouts 2024. St. Thomas's College with a 3-point advantage at the half-time, 10 points to 7 against Isipathana. And we have an important 35 minutes coming your way. These are the highlights from the first half. Isipathana drawing first blood. Shahid Sumri with that long cutout pass to Abdullah Faiza. And then that was very early in the game. And then Isipathana adding the 2 points as well through Shahid Sumri and Yahan Blotsingalage adding the 3 points after a penalty. But they managed to get that all-important try just at the end of the first half through Malkal Karunaratne, as they managed to get the conversion through as well to register that 3-point advantage going into the half-time. Now, both the teams were shown yellow cards in that first half, but I think both the teams are restored back to 15 minutes. So, 35 minutes of crunch action coming your way on Sri Lanka's number one sports channel, the Papare TV. Saya told all of you earlier, will it be St. Thomas's in the finals after 15 years, or will we see another final between Isipathana and St. Peter's?
Good question, Laksisi. Is it going to be another season of Peters and Pathana dominance? Or do St. Thomas's have something to say in that equation? They will want to kill two birds with one stone when they play for the Archibald Pereira Trophy as well, if St. Thomas's go through today. But there's 35 minutes and a determined green team who would want that not to be the reality. Here's Khalid Chanal now, back from the sin bin. Here's Kavin Tarusha, the first carry of the second half. Shahid Zumri, it's a lovely little ball, but this time falling straight into the hands of Udan Bulatsingalage. Immediately turned over, not expecting that pass, and St. Thomas's win the penalty. Quickly taken by Venuka Vikramasuriya, but referee Veranga will say that it needs to be taken from the correct spot. Leaving their feet at the ruck were Isipathana.
Bulatsingalage to try and get that 5-meter line out for St. Thomas's very early in the second half. Another try here from St. Thomas's will definitely give them a lot of momentum going into the latter part of the second half. Here's the replay.
Under pressure that time is Abdul Aziz, the left winger. Kavin Tarusha will try to clear it and give enough space for Shahid Zumri to clear. He's standing well inside the in-goal area and does well. Isipathana fly half to clear it up to the 22-meter line. So really well dealt with that pressure there, Laksisi.
Shahid Sumri, a good get out of jail kick, but he's not done. Still inside their own 22. Malka Gunaratne there. Good one, St. Thomas's to pull off a good line out and put further pressure on the green machine.
So this is where in the league game things didn't go well for St. Thomas's. Isipathana started really well after the half-time break and came back, and St. Thomas's just couldn't catch up. But this time the Thomians starting a little bit better, and they'll need to make sure they keep that pressure on as a yawning blindside is ignored there. This is how they started off when they scored their try and strung together several phases. Kenala Mihisara goes in, but hands off, says the referee. Here's a try scorer, Karunaratne. Really impressed with his ball placement and how it makes it available and easy enough for his support players to ruck. Coming into the field is Chamod Pereira. We haven't really seen enough of him on the left wing for the Thomians. The most dangerous runners in this Thomian backline. Dehan Senaratne carries forward strongly. Here's Lenagala. Few tired legs in this green defensive wall because they have been getting hammered by this Akash Fana. That might have been a penalty to the defense, but Referee saying no. Here's Liana Gunawardena. Quick release is the referee, and that's exactly what they're doing. So good discipline now. Jehan Bulat-Singalage, can he reach over? Yes, he can. And it's a brilliant start to the Thomians. It's the younger Bulat-Singalage who managed to score the try in the end. And they went short side and just didn't do enough Isipathana to fold and see where the danger was coming from. And it's a brilliant start to the second half.
Udan Bulat-Singalage scoring that Amana Bank try for St. Thomas's very early in the second half. Now after getting that little momentum, Shanaka, they didn't look back. That's the good thing about St. Thomas's at the start of the second half. It's really important that they make sure that they are calling the shots in the remaining 30 minutes of the second semi-final. An 8-point lead now. That means Isipathana, they'll have to score twice in this encounter. If they can kick this through, it will be a 10-point game.
It's a really important conversion. It was an important moment when Zumri cleared. We thought Isipathana had got over the danger, but somehow they managed to create more pressure and keep that on until they scored. Oh, and that's a touchline. Brilliant kick from Jehan Bulat-Singalage. He's been inspired by the happenings in Pallekele yesterday and has been impeccable off the tee so far. And what a brilliant bit of kicking it's been, Laksisi. This one here from Jehan. And Shan Altaf was brilliant off the tee, as was Idris Farooq, as was Nabil Yahya yesterday. So some really outstanding kickers that Sri Lanka are producing.
And even Royal Peter yesterday from St. Peter's had a great game with the boot Shanaka. And from the restart kick, both the teams letting it just land.
Ball didn't travel the 10 meters on the full. To say, allowed to bounce into touch. St. Thomas's chose not to play it before the 10-meter line. Lenagala takes it at the front of the line out. Okay, now Wickramasuriya looking for that box kick, and he puts it up nicely. It's contestable. They did well to leave him that time. Khalid Shenal went to the floor, but none of the Thomians wanted anything to do with it. And here's Godangoda. Khalid now looking for Wickramarachya to create some line breaks. Abdullah Faiza in first receiver. Now they've gotten the measure of Shaneska. Liana Gunawardena gets down Shahid Zumri, not once but twice in the same movement. St. Thomas's now with their tails up. Have they sniffed a little bit of vulnerability? Zumri, for the first time this season, looking a little unsure as he lets that rifle shot go. And here's Jehan Bulat-Singalage, hands off to the dangerous Ahaliagoda with such a low center of gravity. Karunaratne again does well on the floor to lay this back for his scrum half. Wickramasuriya's pass is not a good one, and Bulat-Singalage dribbles that ball. Is compelled to do that. Wickramasuriya just needed to be a little bit calmer because they know what's going right. St. Thomas's don't need to go wide. They just need to keep it nice and tight. But a good passage of play again, coming a little undone with an unforced error.
That little sloppy pass, just undoing all the good work they did in the last few phases for St. Thomas's. St. Thomas's, they have a huge amount of momentum in the semi-final now, Shanaka. It's about making sure that they continue to play in the same manner without giving Isipathana a sniff.
I said this was something that we talked about yesterday a lot with Abdullah Yusuf in the commentary box about getting forwards in the back line. Sometimes you need them just to make sure they hit the rucks rather than handle the ball. Abdullah Faiza with a lovely little burst, but Liana Gunawardena does really well to track him down. Khalid the Chanal now. Shahid Zumri. Komian defense is up quickly and a good tackle made by Akash Fernando. And somehow the ball keeps squirting out with the ball security not too good for the Isipathana lads. And here's a little bit of a step from Mayank Dias, who does well to wait till his captain gets back in support. Vikramasuriya. That's better from the young scrum half. Hands it off to Sithil Pereira. Manika Surya asking for it. But instead they opt for Bulat Singhal again. He needs to chase because all the Thomian players are in front of him. Here's Shahid Zumri now. Is he going to turn this game on its head with a moment of brilliance? He's going to try. And that ball goes into touch on the full. And it's a telltale sign, isn't it? When Shahid Zumri starts trying to do a little bit more than he has been doing, Laksisi, shows that somehow the body language and the feeling that you're getting in the game, the momentum that you're feeling in the game is not going well. This is not something he would have done way too often, running himself towards the touchline and putting that little chip through. So managed to win the ball back this time. Aditya Madhushan. Nice ball from Vikram Arachi. Here's Sandeepa with a lovely little step. Abdul Aziz, in fact. Getting there just in time to save that turnover, and Vikram Arachi now with a loop. Abdul Ahmed manages to find his way back into the field of play after what looked like a shoulder injury there, and here's Vikram Arachi. Nice ball over the top. Here's Nimantha Sandeepa. Sandeepa, can he get his arms free? Yes, he doesn't need them. Sandeepa, is he going all the way? Yes, he is. Nimantha Sandeepa, what an outstanding run from the little winger. It looked for all money that he was going to get pushed out. He's one of the littlest backs on the field, and my goodness, what a run that was.
And he managed to evade at least 3 tacklers from St. Thomas's. A mesmerizing run from Nimantha Sandeepa. And Shanak, if you remember, Nimantha managed to score a hat-trick of tries against St. Thomas's in that league encounter. So just like Mikael Karnaratne scored that try for St. Thomas's, it's Nimantha Sandeepa for Isipathana. Look at that, absolutely brilliant. And he managed to make sure that he went all the way, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered for the green machine.
Well, those are some big missed tackles. Ahaliagoda with the first one, Jehan Bulat Singalage with the second one, and Mayank Dias didn't manage to get a finger on him. What a superb run that was, holding his touchline, staying strong, keeping his balance. What a great run. Very difficult angle. Shahid Zumri will try to put his team within a penalty. It's just shot across the face of the posts, and I have to say, one of the most underrated players on this Isipathana team is Dinada Vikram Arachi. Whenever he touches the ball, he distributes really well and manages to make things happen around him. And he was the one who found that overhead pass to Nimantha Sandeepa, who finished beautifully.
Vikram Arachi, a gutsy player, brother of Dan Vikram Arachi, who won the double in 2022. He was actually playing as a forward last year and made that shift this season.
Well, that explains it then, Laksisi. Forwards, obviously, the more intelligent breed. Mayank Dias now with the restart. Khalid Shenal will field it and return to Bulat Singhal again. Be a bit of kick tennis played, as the game is now a 5-point game for St. Thomas's rather than a 10-pointer. Looked like the ball was still in the field of play. Unable to see this near side touchline too well from our vantage point here. And now the blue section of the crowd and the green section of the crowd having their own little match-up here. And conference between the assistant and the main referee over whose ball it's going to be. Any idea what happened, Laksisi?
And I think the officials are trying to make sure that which team had the last touch before the ball went into touch. And it looks like it's going to be a line out in favour of Isipathana, yes.
There's no need to do anything other than go to Dodangoda at the front. And Zumri now to the man we were talking about, Vikramarachi, having Nisada Jayavira coming through on his shoulder. The captain doing well to take this ball up to almost a 40-meter mark. And this one falls into the hands of Venika Vikramasuriya. And now Sanesh Kalyanaganawadhan, Mayanka Das. Can he make up for his missed tackle this time? Udan Bulat Singalage finds Lenagala. Crashing run by the big prop forward who finally gets ahead of steam up. That one is lost forward. Oh, and I thought Isipathana were unlucky there. Thought they were really unlucky there. Looked like it was a knock-on in the tackle before. If you can see that one again, let's see what the sequence of events was. Referee Veranka was just a little bit behind where that player was. Here's a run by Lenagala. And Dehan Senaratna puts his head down, takes it forward, and I think there was a rip by Kenula Mihisara, but the referee said, I've got to apologize. I think Veranka got that spot on there because he didn't allow a clear release before he ripped the ball away. And yes, it's 20 points to 12. Suddenly more than one score away are the Thomians.
And the lead back to 8 points for St. Thomas's College. Bulat Singalage putting on a clinic of some brilliant kicking, Shanaka, in this all-important second semi-final. Isipathana just after they scored that try. Now they have to do it all over again. 2 times. They have to score 2 times in this game now to make sure they qualify for the finals. St. Thomas's calling the shots big time in this game.
Bulat Singalage again. They keep kicking to the hands of the best kicker in the side. And has he overcooked this? Yes, he has. They're going to come 80 meters back. Oh dear, oh dear. He's just put too much on this, Yehan Bulat Singalage. And they're going to come into their 22. We spoke of exits, Laksisi, and a man with so much range on his boot just had a little bit too much that time.
And that's the beauty of this game, is this Shanaka at one point, he's the heat for St. Thomas's, but with that little mistake, now Isipathana with a golden opportunity to hit back.
If we can see that replay again for the previous penalty, when we have a bit of a stoppage, it will be good to see exactly what happened. Nisada Jayavira, here's Khalid Shenal standing in the defensive line, and that's a lovely little hip swerve from Shahid Zumri, taking play up to the 22. Here's Aditya Madhushan, here's the danger man, Nimanta Sandeepa still managing to make inroads, takes it well into the 22. Here's Zumri, Kenula Mihisara. Akash Fernando does well to get into the defensive line. Nice ball from Zumri, but there were 2 knock-ons there. They had men over on the outside, but they have the penalty.
What will they do, Shanaka? Will they go for the 3 points?
I think they've got to take it, Laksisi. They've got to take it and put St. Thomas's under pressure. Know that the Thomians, with only a 5-point margin, they'll know that they can't allow Isipathana in. And yes, they've chosen to take the points. It's a sensible call, I think.
Here's the replay. Nimanta Sandeepa once again, the little good run there. So hard to get a hold of him, Nimanta Sandeepa, and then Shahid Sumri to Kenula Mihisara. And from them to Sumri and that little pass to Dodangoda. Just not getting it right. And Nimanta Sandeepa to try and get the 3 points for Isipathana, and he manages to add the 3 points. It's 20 points to 15.
Well, what a show from Nimantha Sandeep. He's made St. Thomas's his bunny, more or less. He's showing that he can do everything. He can run, he can score tries, he can pass, he can kick penalties. The amount of talent available in Havelock Town is just unfair sometimes. I think ever since the stopped the 198 bus route, talent hasn't made its way to Mount Lavinia. And another mistake. 2 kick-off mistakes. Will this one lead to points as well, Laksisi?
St. Thomas's, just when they had all the momentum, 2 back-to-back mistakes. The first one leading to 3 points for Isipathana. And what will be the final result of this mistake from the Thomians?
15 minutes left in this game. 16 minutes or maybe even a little bit more. It's plenty of time. It's a lifetime 15 minutes when you're chasing a game. It's even longer when you're defending a lead. Here's Nisaja Javir off the back. Here's Dananda Vikramarachi, I should say. This manages to keep it in the correct half of the field. Kavin Tarusha met in a thumping tackle from Akash Fernando. Here's a little grubber, but not sure that was the right option. They need to keep the ball in hand, Isipathana. And Vikramasuriya will make sure that the chase is good here. Oh, they've allowed it to bounce, has Abdullah Faizer. And it's bounced kindly into the hands of Vanigasuriya, who places it back. And oh, not sure what happened there. It looks like it's a knock-on. Let's see if we can see that again. Shenal asked for it immediately. Let's see where it was. Abdullah Faizer making the cardinal error of allowing that ball to bounce. Vanigasuriya following through. And, well, it comes off the body of Vanigasuriya there. If it doesn't come off the hands, it's not a knock-on. But I think we've just got to let that one chalk it down to one of those things. And Ihan Bulatsingal again now trying to make a few amends for his 2 kick-off mistakes. But running into touch just in front of his bench, and coach Anuranga Valpola scratching his head, wondering exactly what his captain is going to conjure up next. You see the Thomian bench really quiet there, Laksisi. This is something about the body language of the Thomian juniors that needs to improve, really get behind their team. Kerala Mihisara knows that this is an important moment in the game. 5 points adrift, Isipathana.
Isipathana, they realize that if St. Thomas's do score next, that will most probably be the game. And there's no coming back from a loss like this, because it's a knockout tournament. And it's really important that both the teams give their absolute best in the remaining 13.5 minutes. But the last 24 hours, even as I mentioned earlier, Shanaka producing some brilliant encounters, close encounters from the top teams in Sri Lankan schools rugby.
I think there has been some chat on social media, Laksisi, about how maybe they should do away with the knockout tournament because the top schools are not taking part. But I think the quality of the rugby and the closeness of the games that we've seen in the quarterfinals and now the semi-finals really shows that this knockout tournament is a tournament that everyone wants to be a part of. Well, maybe not everyone, but that it needs to be a part of the calendar. Just need to get the timings right. Just need to get the commitments right. Need to get the calendars synced. Khalid Shenal, that one slides off the top of his boot, and Udan Bulatsingal again as well to regain the ball, but he has knocked it on. So wasn't the kick that went the distance that he wanted it to go, but it went far enough.
And Shankar, you talked about the importance of this, and also teams that are unable to win the league that year, they'll definitely want to have another crack, isn't it? So that's why this tournament is important. And as you mentioned, it's all about the timing.
So again, another important scrum for Isipathana here. What can they make happen? They've gone to the playmaker on the short side, but he's kicked the ball away again. And Bulat Singalage look like, oh dear, this is Khalid Dushanal. I'm afraid this might be curtains for him. Looked very much like it was another dive into the tackle. The referees will confer, and I will keep talking because we can't hear what they're going to say, but it looked very much like the previous incident, Laksisi. Oh dear, you've got to feel for the lad, but it's his tackle technique that's in question. And it's the second one, and I think referee Praneeth Veranka has got this spot on. Let's have another look. But Khalid Dushanal will have only himself to blame here. Let's see whether he got it right. Yes, he does dip his head and doesn't really make enough of an attempt to wrap. It's a tough call, but he's got to do better.
For the remaining 12 minutes, Isipathana, they'll have to play with just 14 men on the park. St. Thomas's once again getting that advantage. Now they need to make sure that they don't do the same mistakes they did in the last 10 minutes.
We've heard international coaches and players talking a lot about the picture you paint for the referee, Laksisi. And when a player has a history of maybe not making the tackle in the perfect way, then referees are also watching that guy. And if it's a 50-50 call, sometimes the benefit of the doubt goes against you. And Khalid Dushanal from that previous incident, so that was a very obvious yellow card. This one was less obvious, but still, I feel that if it wasn't a second yellow, it would have been a first yellow for sure. So referee Veranka did really not have an option. That's why we talk about painting pictures for referees, making sure that you allow them to see that you're trying your best to stay legal. But Laksisi, we've seen many times before in this league and again in international rugby as well, when you had a player go off, the rest of the team lifts. And can Isipathana find something within them in this last 11 minutes? Vanigasuriya off the top, Vikramasuriya. Here's Mikhail Karunaratne staying on his feet. Akash Fernando thumps into Kenula Mihisara. Vikramasuriya now to Dehan Seniviratne. They hold him up beautifully in the tackle, Kenula. Release, says the referee, which they do. And Mikhail with a lovely little step off his right foot. He had a heavily strapped knee last week, but seems to have recovered from that. Going straight in is Setum Rajapaksa. The ruck was formed, so referee says leave it. Here's Sitil Pereira. St. Thomas's still picking and going from their 40-meter line. It's worked for them previously, so why not keep doing it? Here's Yahan. Looks for the inside ball. Carrying strongly. Taken to ground this time. And looks like he's knocked it forward on the floor as well. Nimanta Sandeepa getting in there and saying, I'll take you on by myself if I have to. He's already scored a penalty and a 5-point try. So two littlest men, the three littlest men in the Isipathana team, along with Sethupa Bometh, who take the gangly Thomian captain down.
Sethupa Bometh, the replacement scrum for Isipathana, making that change. Abdul Aziz going out and Sethupa Bometh coming in because of that red card to Kalandu Shenal. Isipathana inside their own 22. 9 minutes to go on our clock. St. Thomas is still with the advantage. 5 points separating the two sides.
Bometh now to Zumri with the little wraparound. Abdullah Faiz, now they've got some space. Here's Nimanta Sandeep. They've managed to get him down this time, and Senesh Kaliyanu Gunawardena makes an important tackle. St. Thomas's will have to defend for dear life now as Isipathana throw the kitchen sink at them. Kerala Mihisara looking to get the ball into the hands of Shahid Zumri. Lovely little sleight of hand pass from the Isipathana vice captain. And yes, a penalty is coming because St. Thomas is very clearly leaving their feet there. They wouldn't mind conceding the penalty in this part of the pitch though. So Jayasinghe, who's taking a little time to recover from that. Haliagoda making the tackle. Jayasinghe going in, leaving his feet and getting in the way there.
Isipathana with that age regainer, they have managed to come inside the St. Thomas's half once again. 7.5 minutes to go. Isipathana, they are ready to run from their own 22. That's what we saw in the earlier phase of play. Aditya Madusha and Shahid Zumri combining to gain some meters. From here onwards, Isipathana, they'll definitely go into that all-in attack mode. Chanaka. And for St. Thomas, it's about making sure that they contain the green machine or even try to get a score.
Yes, I'm not sure defending is the answer for the next 7 minutes or so. They will need to try and just get into the faces of this Isipathana team and keep attacking. Ball knocked forward, so Isipathana competing, or St. Thomas is rather competing in the line out. That throw, I think they were a little lucky because that throw was perhaps not straight. Substitution being made, Jayasinghe going off, and for the Thomians, Udugama comes in. It's an experienced player, Udugama. Made a start and will need to keep his discipline. He's fresh and they'll need his energy, but it needs to be controlled aggression. Bometh feeding the scrum and feeding his playmaker. Dahandu Wickramaratchi taking it up, and the outside of the boot kick. They'll let it run into touch.
Here's the replay. Sethupa Bometh giving it out to Shahid Zumri, and Zumri, that little kick once again. Now inside the St. Thomas's 22, an important line out Chanaka for St. Thomas's. They didn't get the line out right in the early stages of the game, but now in this crunch moment they need to make sure that they get it right. Can't let Isipathana have a sniff inside their own 22 with just 5.5 minutes to go.
Well, this is a match-winning moment in this game, Laksisi. If Dehan Senaratne can hit his target, then St. Thomas's will breathe a sigh of relief. But if they can steal this ball, if Tinethra Dodangora does what he has been doing all game, you can see that Dodangora is putting pressure by allowing the number one jumper to know that he knows that he's getting the ball, and Dodangora read that beautifully as well. Well, that was really well done by Isipathana, but St. Thomas is just doing enough. Just doing enough there. Bulak Singalage will clear. But if he can go back to that line out, will show you what pressure is about, Laksisi. Just to the start of that line out. We'll show that to you in a moment after this line out is over. But it was great work from Tinetta Durangoda. He made sure that the Thomian number 1 jumper, who was Lenagala, knew exactly that he knew that he was getting the ball. It's nice work at the back from Abdul Ahmed. Lovely angle, beautiful angle that time from Aditya Madhushan. Here's Nisatha Jayavira. Setum Rajapaksa. Here's Kenul Mihisara. Setu Bobomet finally comes away with that ball. Shahid Zumri with a little bit of a goose step there. And somehow they managed to steal that ball, and it was Udugama who came off the bench that did that, but instead it's a penalty. No clear release, says the referee. There's 3 minutes to go. Do they take the 3, Laksisi, or do they go for the win? Wesley in the same position. Well, not the same position, but a similar position yesterday. They went for broke. Isipathana taking the brave option. The man down to attack the Thomian line out.
2.5 minutes to go on our clock. 20 points to 15. St. Thomas's currently with the lead in the second semi-final of the Dialogue Schools Rugby Knockouts 2024. It's all about the remaining 2 minutes, the 120 seconds of this encounter. Which team in the finals next week? Kenula Mihisara all set to throw the ball in.
It's very clear what they're going to do, because Setupa Bomet is standing 10 meters back, and they've got Nisatha Jayavira standing at the receiver position, which means that they've got the drive on. It's taken to ground, but it didn't look like it was collapsed. Oh, and what an important moment in the game. Nicely. They just didn't have enough momentum, Laksisi. And have St. Thomas's pulled a rabbit out of the hat in the final moments of this game.
St. Thomas's. The clock is running out for Isipathana. Here's the replay from that line out. St. Thomas's getting the job done there. One of the most important lineouts of the season for the Thomians. Now with the possession, Shanaka, just a few minutes to go, just a few seconds to go maybe.
Isipathana just didn't get the angle of that drive right. St. Thomas was pulling them towards the touchline as well. That was really well defended. Anuranga Walpola will be very happy with that. Ahaliagoda driving this one forward. And this time Bulat Singalage, that was the one he needed to kick all the way down to the opposition deadline, but they've given Isipathana yet another sniff. Are they going to relax after they thought they did it last time around?
It's not over yet. Bulat Singalage probably wanted to get more distance in that clearance kick, but Isipathana still inside that 22-meter territory.
It looks like Ahaliagoda, who ran that ball up at first receiver, took a shot to the head. If we can see that again, we'll try and show you exactly what happened. So this is the final act, perhaps, that Isipathana has. Can they do it? They've got another offering. And you have to see that some of this stuff is fated, Laksisi. Here's Ahaliagoda. Seems like there was a head clash there with Setupa Bomet. You can see him holding his head as well as he gets up. And if there was a TMO, perhaps there might have been something to say about that. But referee Veranga missing it to the naked eye. Kenula Mihisara goes to the back of the line out. This time they'll try to get the angle right. Nisatha Jayavira. Here's Setupa Bomet. Vikramarachchi. They'll need all their big players to step up now, and they've gone quickly. Setum Rajapaksa cuts back on the angle. Beautiful work from the big prop forward, working hard even in the 79th minute. And here's a fend coming through from Shahid Zumri. They drag him to the floor in a desperate bit of defense. Abdul Ahmed, Setum Rajapaksa got the forwards in the back line at the moment. Setupa. Bomet now finds Zumri. They're looking for him. And St. Thomas's will need to tail him all around the park. This is do or die stuff from the green machine. Bomet, Rajapaksa. Thundering forward is Mapitigama. Here's a replacement scrum half again. They knew that they needed a scrum half. They've got him back, and Shahid Zumri is the man who puts it into the air, knowing that he had the penalty coming. Thought they should have kept it in hand even then. But if they've taken that 3, they have another 3. It's 21-20. Still plenty of time on the referee's clock. There's been plenty of stoppages as well, so the rains have come down also. Who is that going to favor in the dying moments of this game? Certainly not going to favor the team that's trying to run the ball.
Most probably the last move of this second semi-final. Skies have opened up, as Shanaka mentioned. Isipathana, last row of the dice for them. St. Thomas's, can they defend this big time to qualify for this final?
Come down to the last play of the game. Oh, there's a knock on, but there is a penalty as well. Looks like it might have been Udugama, who had not kept his bind. Oh dear, what a penalty to give away in those final moments. The 3 points are not going to be enough for Isipathana now. They have to go again, and instead of the scrum, they're going to look for the quick tap. Not so quick tap, but nicely done by Bomet. Goes one way, then comes back the other. Our cameraman getting jostled by the crowd in the grandstand. And oh, that's Vaniga Surya again, who the deliberate knockdown. It's the same time that St. Thomas's have been guilty of that same offense. So another penalty. We're well past the 70 minutes now. We have to keep playing. Shahid Zumri, what can he conjure up for his team? He's going to the line. St. Thomas's with a forward down now, and they've sensed that. He's a line out forward as well. What are the Thomians going to do? Are they going to get a back in the line out? You can see that Vaniga Surya knew immediately what he'd done, turning around with a wry smile to the referee. Keruna Misara having a chat with his main line-out caller, Tinetra Dodangoda. If they go to number 2, it's going to be less easy to set up that driving maul. They want to go to the middle of the line-out. That's where Abdul Ahmed is stationed. But they go to the front. St. Thomas's will hold on for dear life. They know that this is as close as they're going to get to beating this green machine. Kavin Tarusha is at the back. Kavin Tarusha, is he going? He is! And it's a try. Has Shahid Zumri got the extra 2 points in him? Or are we going to see extra time here at the Royal College Sports Complex? Kavin Tarusha with the game-tying try. And as usual, it is coming down to a young lad to put the ball on the tee, shrug off all the pressure, and win the game for his team. We saw one of them do it yesterday. Will we see another one do it today?
Here's the replay. Isipathana, they tried and finally that rolling maul works for them. Kavin Tarusha was placed brilliantly there, and he managed to score that try from the right corner of the field for the green machine. And it's Nimanta Sandeep Can Nimantha Sandeepa take Isipathana to that final of the Dialogue Schools Rugby Knockouts 2024? Here's the conversion. Will this go through? No, it doesn't. So it's 20 all.
20 points apiece. We're going for extra time. Referee Preeti Kumara coming onto the field just to let referee Veranka know exactly how this is going to go down. Oh my goodness, what scenes here at the Royal College Sports Complex. Nimantha Sandeepa had to go for it. I think Shahid Zumri might be having a little bit of an injury, which means that he can't kick. But Sandeep has done it all against the Thomians. So let's wait and see how this one goes. Is it going to be the team to score first? Or is it going to be a full 20 minutes of half-time? We'll find out and let you know as soon as we do.
So we will go to a short commercial break. There's a lot happening here at the Royal Complex. Stay tuned to Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel, the Papre TV. The action is still not over.
Get keys to your wheels and experience people-friendly vehicle leasing with Amana Bank. Enjoy the lowest monthly installment and flexible financing up to 7 years. Apply online at www.amanabank.lk or call 0117 756 756. Amana Bank. It's your bank. Radials. The road is yours.
Scrum down at the Dubai Rugby Sevens. Feel the adrenaline rush with thrilling Sevens games, indulge in top-notch rugby entertainment and tackle a variety of sporting activities. Fly to Dubai on an exclusive Emirates Holidays package inclusive of a 3-day pass.
Welcome back to the Royal Complex, everyone. And after 70 minutes of electrifying action, we were unable to face St. Peter's. And right now we will have 2 halves of 5 minutes each, and whoever scores first will book that place in the final, Shanaka.
Well, it was a short, sharp shower, but it was a shower of blessing for Isipathana as they managed to score in the dying moments of this game. Nimantha Sandeepa stepped up with a chance to try and put it to bed for Isipathana, but missing that really tight right-hand touchline conversion. Isipathana live to breathe and mentally for the Thomian team to find themselves in this position, and we have to confirm to you that it will be the team that scores first. The golden goal, as it were. Sudden death, extra time. 5 minutes each way.
Now, we all thought that we would have seen this yesterday when Wesley College had the chance, and they didn't go for the penalty. They tried to go for that try for the win. But today, we're about to see that sudden death semi-final clash. Here's Abdullah Faisal.
Faisal puts this deep. Is it too deep? No, it's not. And St. Thomas's do really well to latch onto this ball. Bulat Singhal again. Halia Goda stepping in. Vikramasuriya opts to go for the box kick. It falls backwards, but Sethupa Bomet picks it up, but no, it is an advantage. Referee Veranka ruling that as a knock-on from Bulat Singhal again. There's about 3 feet of a height difference between Bulat Singalage and Sethupa Bomet, but still the Thomian captain not able to get his big mitts on that ball.
So the first mistake of the sudden death period coming in from St. Thomas's College. Isipathana with the scrum just inside their half.
Well, in this kind of sudden death situations, Laksisi, it's more about territory than position. You've just got to play in the right half of the pitch. Make sure you don't allow the other team to get anywhere close to your try line. Again, on the short side, Shahid Zumri setting it up, and this time it looked like it was another turnover waiting to happen, but Nimantha Sandeep, but that's a Haliagoda who's managed to clear that ball. Oh, not sure exactly what Haliagoda did wrong there, but I'm sure we'll find out on the replay. And Abdullah Faizer, does look like Shahid Zumri's kicking has deserted him a little bit because he might be carrying a bit of an injury.
Now after conceding that penalty, Shahanaga, St. Thomas's will be happy that it's not Trinity, the opposition. From the same sort of position, Shahan Altaf kicked that penalty through yesterday.
Well, it looked like he had rights to that ball. He wasn't the tackler, and he had his hands on it before anyone bound on him. But those are the 50-50 calls that we've just got to give as just rugby incidents, because it cleans up to pretty much every team. Nice ball across the face, but doesn't go to hand, and Bulat Singalage opts to thump this one down, and if it's a 50-22, it will. Here's a good chase by the Thomian skipper. Can he do what the other double colorsman in basketball and rugby, Shavin Kapuatha's team, did in 2009 and go ahead to get into the final of this President's Trophy knockout? Bomet. 3 Isipathana players converging for that ball, but they managed to come away with it, and here's a little chase and marked by Yehan Bulat Singalage. There'll be some tired legs here, Laksisi. You can see they've played 70 minutes of absolute high intensity rugby, and then they've got to play 10 more.
So these boys, they were prepared to play for 70 minutes, but today it's about 80 minutes. And that's how crucial this game is. That's how impressive both these teams are in this encounter. We are yet to find out which team is the better one in this semi-final.
You can see in the crowd, nobody's left their seats. Nobody's yelling. Everybody's just tense, feeling for these boys who are going through enormous pressure in a moment that could change the destiny of their seasons. St. Thomas has made a substitution with Ranjit Singh coming on. Abdul Ahmed wins a nice ball at the tail of that line out. Here's Shahid Zumri with the long ball over the face to Nimantha Sandeep. They get one-on-one. Sandeep stepping in field. At that time, the tackle is made by Yehan Bulat Singalage, who's livid that he didn't get that turnover call or the penalty call. Lenagala makes the tackle on his opposite number, Kavin Tarusha, who does well to hand the ball off. Sethupa Bomet, now Shahid Zumri. He's got the behind the back pass to Abdullah Faizer. Yes, can Shahid Zumri do this? Yes, he does. Shahid Zumri wins it for Isipathana. The behind the back pass we talked about in the first half. He kept it in his pocket all season and brings it out in the last possible moment. And Shahid Zumri gets it back from Abdullah Faiza, the fullback. And that interchange of passes will send Isipathana into the final against St. Peter's.
It needed a moment of brilliance like that, Shanaka isn't it, to find out who the winner is. That back of the hand pass to Faiza, and Faiza back to Shahid Sumri, as Shahid Sumri manages to touch down. And Isipathana, they will book another date with St. Peter's in the finals of the Dialogue Schools Rugby Knockouts 2024. A rematch from last year, a rematch from the league decider. But you got a feel for the boys from St. Thomas's and Shanaka. We need to decide who the player of the match is.
Yes, we do, and that's going to be a difficult one, isn't it? Because it was just so close. But I think for the kind of work they did in the line-out and in the rucks as well, I think Abdul Ahmed is my man for this match, Laksisi.
Yeah, Abdul Ahmed, some great work. Had an injury scare in the first half as well, but managed to hang on, and he performed exceptionally well. But hats off to the boys from St. Thomas's. An amazing effort. Came ever so close to book their place in the final after 15 years, but unfortunately, at sudden death, things just didn't go as they planned. And Isipathana, in the form of Shahid Sumri, Abdullah Faiz and Imanta Sandeepa, they managed to get the job done.
Well, it's a question of what might have been for the Thomians. They will feel they didn't get rewarded for some work at the breakdown that they put in really well. But this Isipathana team knows how to win, and they knows how to win in the mass moment.
And Melbourne Lemon Puff, for a thrilling game like this, your ideal companion is Melbourne Lemon Puff. And St. Thomas's and Isipathana, they gave us that thrilling encounter, a fitting semi-final, Shanaka, and that's the full-time score confirmation. Isipathana 25, St. Thomas's 20, and Isipathana, once again this season, they come from behind to get the win.
Yes, that was a stunning match. It really was. Both teams playing their part. And just in the end, a moment of brilliance from Shahid Zumri. Just doing enough to break the back of the Thomian resistance.
school matches to international matches, the Papare, your one-stop platform for sports action with the latest innovations. Wherever you are, the game is on. Have a very good night, folks.
Scrum down at the Dubai Rugby Sevens. Feel the adrenaline rush with thrilling Sevens games